Welcome to BRR Media. Today I welcome Cathal Friel, the Executive Chairman of Open Orphan. Cathal, it's great to have you with us again.
Pleasure. Thank you very much for having me on.
Now, Cathal, I see you have confirmed a profitable H1 for 2021. Can you tell us more?
Yeah, I think it's very important to confirm that. We've been in a fast turning around situation, but yeah, delighted to put the figures out there. We're firmly profitable. We did guide the market. We were operationally profitable in Q4 last year, but people weren't sure we'd be making real profits. So not alone are we saying we're profitable for the first half, we're also guiding we will be profitable for the entire full year. So really happy. It's taken a lot of work, hard work with team all around, but I've always said services company, I guess once you break through and become firmly profitable, it only grows from there.
And I see the company has £14.9 million of cash and will be ending the year in line with this. Is that where you plan to be, Carl?
Yeah, and again, Rosie, once you get services companies such as us profitable, the cash burn stops. People were worried earlier in the year when we saw our cash had dropped somewhat from the end of last year to the end of June. But hey, 14.9 million sterling is a lot. That's twice our market cap 2 years ago when we IPO'd. So we've 2 times our original IPO in less than 2 years. That will grow, but we're also guiding the market. People do worry. We did spend some cash getting new models such as malaria earlier this year, getting the 4 spin-offs, getting Poolbag and the other ones ready, but all that investment is now done. So yeah, we're guiding the market. There's no more cash burn, and that cash will be there at the year end, sitting on our balance sheet.
And I see you're also guiding £40 million for the full year, with 70% of that non-COVID. Tell us more on this figure.
Yeah, I've always said and got into a little bit of trouble at times saying, look, we're primarily a non-COVID company. We're trying to differentiate lots of companies in AIM where all COVID shot up and we know what happened, it came back down. We did get some of that effect at the end of June. People thought the COVID story's over. Yes, the pandemic is ending and we're making it very clear. Just under 30% of our revenues this year was COVID, 70% non-COVID, and that's really predictable long-term revenues. That's influenza, RSV, and they are all part of now the infectious disease market going from 40 or 50 billion up to 250 billion in the next 4 years, and that's a fantastic market for us to be in.
And Cathal, despite this, are you still slightly behind analyst expectations?
Yeah, let's put our hands up, Rosie, and say, yeah, we're slightly back because the characterization study on the COVID work in the Royal Free hasn't completed as expected on time. I think people know that. There's a lot of safety around COVID. You've got to be very careful. That is completed now. And some of the COVID studies we kind of hoped we'd do this year have now slipped into early next year. But on that, we're very happy. It's a good position. We will be profitable for the full year. 40 million, again, that's double our revenues last year. If we can keep growing, doubling year on year, that's not a bad place to be. So yeah, it's a pity to be slightly off, but look, we're still really happy. And all we're trying to do, this is clear reassurance to people. There's a direction of travel, there's what we delivered, and there's where we're going.
And on that, you've announced a newly signed human challenge contract this morning. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, that's a 5.7 million sterling, and we're kicking off working right away. That's a serious bit of work. It's influenza. That's our 3rd influenza study we signed this year. And the message, we've got lots more of those. We didn't sign a single influenza study in the previous 3 years, 3 in, and 4 or 5 more to come. And we're trying to guide the market. Yes, COVID has come. COVID is going. We will do substantial COVID work next year. We didn't do as much COVID work as we expected this year. However, RSV, influenza, asthma is not going away. And because of the pandemic, there's tons of money being spent on all those other infectious diseases to avoid a future pandemic. We're sitting there. Our order books are never bigger. The inquiries have never been higher. So we want to guide the market going forward. We have a very predictable, fast-growing market to be in infectious diseases and respiratory.
And Cathal, your targeted revenues are in the region of £50 million of non-COVID next year. Now, that's quite a large jump. Are you confident that you're going to get there?
Absolutely, Rosie. Very confident because on the basis today's contract, 3 weeks ago, we signed 8.1 million sterling for asthma. This one, we've 3 or 4 more influenzas. We've 3 or 4 more malarial studies. We've even more than 3 or 4 more RSV, so no issue. If there hadn't been a pandemic, that would be a big jump. But post-pandemic, the world, government, pharma is pouring billions, 250 billion into infectious diseases. We're one of the few companies in the world can test most of those products. This is a really cool place. All I'm saying, our COVID work is not going away. Wasn't quite as high as we expected, but we're really happy it'll be there next year. And we've particular, and we keep saying, don't forget, we've spun off Poolbag, took a bit of our cash earlier this year. That was 25 million dividend species we handed every open offshore. We've got 3 more of those to do. We've got Immutex to spin off, we've Disease and Motion to spin off, and we've also Prep Pharma. So I think if we deliver all of those in the months ahead, we'll be in a very, very happy place.
Absolutely. Well, Cathal, thank you very much for talking to us today. Great to get an update from you as always.
Listen, as always, thank you so much for having me on.